Hey guys, you're coming with another video, and today this one is going to be about pandemic timers. And the reason I'm making this video is someone was asking, what are these pandemic timers you're talking about? How do you track your dots? How do you manage all this on multi-target and things like that? And I think it's a good idea to come together today and make a video regarding that. Also, this is going to be a video, a part of a series about like basic Warlock tips. And the reason I'm going to make a basic Warlock tip video is this is something that I think I could maybe put in a playlist for all beginner Affliction Warlocks. They could watch these videos, get an idea of how the spec basically works, how to maintain dots, how to do, the easy stuff as Affliction first, and then they can go watch the other videos and feel more comfortable knowing what I'm talking about. So, without further ado, I wanted to talk about, what pandemic timers are. So what a pandemic timer is when I put agony on the target, right here, you see it only lasts for 14 seconds, okay? And that's, what it says. It says it lasts for 14.9 seconds, so that's what it is when you apply it. But what Blizzard does is if you refresh it, it will add up to 30% of its duration onto the target. So if I was to refresh it with, 30% into, or 70% into the cast, 30% of that would transfer over and go to the new one. So you see here, if I press it again, it will go up to 18 seconds. So it transfers over 30% of the old agony into this one. So basically what that means is you want to wait until approximately 4 to 3 seconds before you refresh this agony. See if I let it tick down to 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, and refresh it, it goes up to that 19 seconds. If I was to let it fall off completely, it would go back to that 14 seconds. So either way, you're not losing DPS if you refresh it in those timers. And so that's what that means. It just means you want to wait until your agony gets to around the 5 to 3 second mark before you refresh it back to that 19 seconds or whatever it is for you. So yeah, that's what I mean by pandemic timer. So if I was to have all my dots out like this, getting all my fancy dots out on the targets, and I would want to refresh my dots as they got to their pandemic timers, like it's getting low, I want to refresh it. It's getting low, I want to refresh it. But I can refresh it a little bit early because, the 30 seconds of it transfers over, or 30% of it transfers over, which is really, really nice. And that's kind of how you want to be working pandemic timers. So that's what pandemic timers are. And now I'm going to talk about kind of how to track this on multiple targets. And I'm going to show you guys how to do it without add-ons because I don't play with add-ons. If you want to know some good dot add-ons, I'm sure you could like Google Warlock dot timers and stuff like that and find some, play around with them. I personally don't use them. I think I have one downloaded. The SPT timers is one, works for some people. I didn't really like it. But anyways, this is how I keep track of my dots on multi-targets. So let's say I'm running Absolute Corruption on a multi-target dot fight. So I'm going to start by dotting the boss. Let's say there's 2 ads that I'm keeping dots on as well, like this, okay? So I now have all my dots on all the targets. Okay, now I'm going to be dumping all my UAs into the main boss, but you see when my dots on the boss are getting low, I know my dots on the targets that I've previously cast them on are also getting low. So I don't really need to worry about the timers on these 2 guys. I only need to worry about the timer on this guy because if I refresh these dots first, they're going to wear off the fastest. And if I refresh them in sequence, it'll always be on a perfect timer like this, okay? So as long as I know this guy's dots, and as long as every time I refresh this guy's dots, I'm refreshing this guy and then this guy's, I'm always going to be on a good timer. Refreshing, right? Because I'm always going to be refreshing in that pandemic range, and I don't even have to worry about my dots on these 2 guys. So even running something like Shackles where I want to UA a bunch of different targets and stuff, I just keep track of the main guy's dots, and then when they're starting to fall, I do this, okay? And that's how you want to work this sort of thing, okay? It's really, really easy. It's a really, really straightforward idea. The idea is you just maintain dots, or you keep track of dots on one target, and since you've dotted the other targets immediately after, they're never going to fall off after you're dotting the main guy. So that's a basic lock tip on how to maintain your dots on multiple targets. Yeah, so really quick, if I was on the side over here or something like that, I could have it up like this to where it's showing me all of their dots and things like that, even more, kind of complex. But yeah, that's how you kind of want to work it. You want to pick one target, put your 3 dots on him, then 3 dots, then 3 dots, and then spam UAs, and then when this guy start to fade, you dot him, and then you have to dot the next guy, and then you have to dot the guy after that. And you just keep going in a circle like that. And since all the dots are instants, you can do it while moving or anything like that. The only thing that you want to prepare for is movement. So really quick, I want to talk about movement. Say you're dotting a bunch of guys, okay? And say there's a mechanic soon that will cause you to have to run away from him, like for a far distance away from the main boss or something like that. You have to run really far away, and you're not going to be able to dot him for a period of time. Even if your dots are not fully refreshed, what I recommend a lot of people do, like say on a fight like Odin, where there's the runes and stuff like that, and you have to go to a specific room, what you should do is, even if your dots, you know, are 50% of the way through, just refresh them while you're running. You might as well. They're instant casts, and what this is going to allow is they're not going to fall off while you're going to do whatever the heck you got to do, and then when you run back, you can get back on those timers, you know? You can even refresh them part way just to make those timers easier for you in your head. It's not going to hugely affect your DPS if you just do, you know, 1 or 2 refreshes of them during the fight, you know what I mean? Most of your DPS doesn't come from that. Anyways, that's it for this video. Really quick tip on pandemic timers, how to maintain dots, and kind of what to do with that. Hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you guys later.